Listen, I heard, okay, a lot of you boys were giving me shit yesterday. Where's the recap? I get it. You know, I in New York City. I went to work, picked up my beautiful bride, and we drove down to the city. I hope you can hear me okay. I don't know. I'm hopefully coming through my headphones and not the computer mic. Either way, I don't give a fuck. We got a lot to talk about. Um, so got down here, New York City. We had concert last night. Didn't have a chance to do the recap. You know, didn't want to let you boys down. Was catching some shit, but here we are. We're good to go now. Let's talk about what happened at the Tell Wednesday night. I don't even know. Jesus Christ. I was out until like what last night? Not bad. Typical Tell night, but my neck is killing me. This hair at concerts, it's fucking great. I took my headband off. I felt like what was that? With my hair back and forth. With my hair back and forth. Like head banging. The back of my head, my neck is just sore shit. But I'm gonna get through this for you because now what we're doing is we're turning back around. We're driving to Boston. We're going to a drag show tonight. What is it, Jello wrestling? We're going to drag Jello wrestling tonight in Boston. And then Amanda for my 40th is taking me to Provincetown for a drag show tomorrow night and then a drag brunch on Sunday. So, what? Just a fucking week. Go to playoffs, concert, and then a weekend of drag shows. Like, who couldn't ask for anything more? All right, so let's get into it. We still had to finish up the first round. Still had to finish that up. Monahan versus Buckley heading in to the third game of the series. Would it be Buckley pulling through so all four of the podcast boys move on to the semifinals? Or was it going to be Mighty Monahan completing the series and giving J-Ro a clean sweep with all four of his picks? I'll tell you what, J-Ro would have won some money last night because he took Monahan, and Monahan came out fucking huge. You know, Peterson had to be at the field ready to go at 7:30 in case Buckley wins. If Buckley wins, Monahan would be, or excuse me, Peterson would have been playing at 7:30. So the Peterson boys, we had our palettes, we had our canvas, and we were just painting. We were waiting. We were loose. Monahan had other ideas. They had other ideas. They were hotter than the 4th of July in Alabama. They came out. I got there a little late. I probably got there about 7-ish. And my group chat's blowing up. The group me's blowing up saying, oh, Jesus, Monahan's up early. They got a couple runs. They're up in the second. And then by the time I got there, I think Monahan had a 10-run lead, 11-run lead. I took a look at Jimmy, OC. He didn't look his normal self. He looked a little frustrated. The team just didn't feel like the Buckley of old. And by Buckley of old, I mean last year, because that's the only Buckley team I actually know. But no, Monahan just had it going. Tommy was great on the mound. The bottom half of their order came through. But I think Tommy, I'm going to go ahead and say, was the deciding factor in that series. Was lights out on the mound. I think he hit 3. I think Eric Gray said he saw him hit 4 in a row. So he saw him hit 3 in the semifinal or against Buckley, and then he saw him lead off against A&D and hit another one. So, Tommy, when Tommy's on, Tommy's on. He's a great pitcher. He can do a lot. That bat's great, especially for a guy that's kind of been in and out this year. It's been awesome to see him around the field late all the time, especially now that we're at playoffs. So, but man, Tommy was great. Kept seeing the top of the order. Ian to Dobbs, Laugh, George, like bats just kept getting passed down. Unbelievable. But the biggest piece here is TA. TA made 2 outs in 2 games. I think he made 1 out in the semifinal game. Big game TA, the wily vet, just showing up and making shit happen. He said, "Boys, our balls are on the line. Here we go. I'll show you how to do this." The game 3 is interesting because we have a saying in hockey: it's never a series till you lose at home. Monahan took care of them game 1. They beat Buckley. They put the pressure on. They had the hammer. Buckley comes back, wins as the road team. Game 3, it's wild. The visitor in that series won every game. So that was awesome to see. Now, interesting. I would like to. Well, I was talking to OC later that night. He I don't know if this was off record or on record, but it's about to be on record. He said probably the biggest, maybe the biggest mistake of coaching was taking Monahan. Obviously, if you lose in the first round to a team you pick, you definitely would question it. But, he was looking at, regional versus Monahan. And I think regional, and I think everybody would agree, if regional could ever get their 10 guys to show up, they're one of the better teams in the league. The unfortunate thing is regional couldn't get 10 guys to show up for most of the year. So what are you going to do? You look back at Monahan now. Now you take Monahan, where OC said they dominated them all year. I don't know if they went 3-0 or 2-1. MerrimackDraftLeague.com. Go check it out if you want to do your own research. But they were, so I can hear that comes into play. If you go 2-1 against a team during the regular season, 3-0 against a team in the regular season, why wouldn't you take them? I would pick them. And then I was also talking to OC. Him and I were talking, and we had talked a lot about this during the podcast over the year, saying how they were winning a lot of one-run games. And, those tend to flip at some point because you're going to win some of those games you shouldn't win. They shouldn't have beat us. They beat us by a run and probably shouldn't have. But you look back at some of those one-run games, and those are ones you shouldn't win. And that eventually can catch up to you, and it'll start to flow around. What is this? Score effects. Is that one? That's an analytic term we used in hockey as well. So, but now let's move on. Curious thing. Wonder if A&D, if they had known Monahan would have won, if they still would have wanted to play the 7 o'clock game or the 7:30. I still probably rather have had 2 7s as opposed to 2 8s, but curious to see what that thought process was. Maybe I'll get a quick quote from Colby Boulay once he's back from Arizona for a nice little, I believe, a bachelor party. So let's move on to the next game. So as I mentioned, Monahan beat Buckley. MerrimackDraftLeague.com. Go check it out right here. I don't know. There you go. See right there. MerrimackDraftLeague.com. Actually, you can't see shit. So Monahan beat Buckley 19-5 with a little slibbity, slap. They took care of him pretty nice. Excuse me, it itched my ear. So 19-5. I think Monahan at one point was about to run roll. So now we get into the Monahan versus AD. Monahan doesn't change dugouts. Monahan's ready to go. The boys are feeling nice. They're limber. They're hot. I'm telling you what. If we had a wet t-shirt contest, they would have won. That's how good they were feeling. So they came out and they took a nice lead. Took a good lead right away. It just seemed like they were hitting all the gaps. A&D was in a 5-man, and it looked like Monahan was just putting the balls into the gap, over their 5-man, into the gaps, and a lot of things were happening there for them. That's a tough thing, right? When you're playing that, it's a doubleheader. Monahan wins right away. They're going. A&D's coming in. I wouldn't say cold. I'm assuming they took BP, but who knows? I'm assuming they took BP, but I don't know. Hold on, I'm getting a.
It's not urgent.
Okay. All right, never mind. Pardon me, I apologize. My production assistant sent me a text here off screen. I just didn't know if it was related to the broadcast here. But that's hard. You get a team coming in hot or coming in that hasn't played yet versus a team that has played and played well. And you kind of see that momentum carry throughout the game. And no, Kyle Hamill, that guy continues to hit bombs. But saw some nice right side swing from him. Little right center shot off the fence, good measure. Was playing him in another league and just flooded the left side. So he had a couple, I think two. One was just a bloop over into right field where nobody was. And the next was actually a pretty nice little, not Judy, but like a little pop over to right. And when I saw that right center swing out of him last night, I said, oh, shit. That big motherfucker starts being able to get people to stop cheating on him to the left side. Oh, Christ. He'll be a scary bastard. I mean, he's already a scary bastard. I'm afraid he's going to. Do you think he could pop somebody's head off with those biceps of his? Like, just put him in like a headlock and pop, go like a dandelion. Pop, pop. You know what I mean? So Dustin up on the mound, he was ready to go. I like the intensity. I love playoff intensity. But yeah, I was watching the game, wasn't really watching close. Was trying to get loosened up for our game, getting ready. But I think this is going to be a series. Again, good pitchers dueling this one. But I think Monahan coming out hot early. I think there's a lot of some defensive struggles there from A&D early that really kind of turn the tide tables. Is that what they say in the office? How the tide tables have turned? Turntables have tied? Whatever. So that's gonna be a good series. Now A&D lost at home. They have to win the next two games. Are they capable? Absolutely. Will they? We will find out. Gotta tell you, the way TA's got these boys playing though. I love seeing though that you have, in the semifinals, you have the number 1 ranked team, the number 4, 5, and 6. This league's stupid. I mean, shit. So many good players, so many good teams. It really doesn't matter. So anyway, A&D did have a chance to win the game in the 7th. They were chasing 2. I don't think they had any in the bank, but they were chasing 2 and just couldn't get it going. So Monahan takes that first game in a tight game. I hope this series stays like this. If game 2 on Monday stays like this, it's gonna be awesome. 20-18. Now we move on to the late game. We go out to the West Coast. I don't know, what's a good field on the West Coast? Seattle. That T-Mobile Park looks pretty great. Dodger Stadium. Oh, Petco Park. I don't think it's Petco Park in San Diego. Yeah, we're going to Petco Park. I want to go to San Diego again. What's that neighborhood? High North? San Diego?
Yeah.
High North, I think it is. Sure, no, that's Short North, it's Ohio. I don't know. There's some great beer out there. San Diego's got some great neighborhoods. Yeah, the Gaslight District. That's not my flavor. Not my flavor. Tell you, if you've never been to San Diego, also known as a whale's vagina, go check it out. It's a great spot. I know. Hot take from J-Ro. But for the beer people, holy shit, there's some great beers out there. One that is worth the drive is in Anaheim. No, Fullerton. It's right near Cal State Fullerton. It's about 45 minutes away. 4 hours in that traffic some days. Is The Brewery. Bruery. Great brew. They also have a tasting room now in Washington, D.C. But, I don't know. I mean, fall brewing's awesome in San Diego. everybody knows the big names, but what was it? Belching Beaver. The Belching Beaver was one, and they weren't hiding anything. It was literally a belching beaver that looked like a vagina. It was great. They had a beautiful chocolate peanut butter stout, which I wish was in my coffee cup. Speaking of coffee cups, Amanda's drinking a little, looks like bubbled apple juice with yeast in it, and carbonation. A little happy apple juice, is what I'll call it. A little Mexican Pacifico. Is that what we're doing? Pacifico for you in the morning? Love it. Let's go. That's why I married her. But no, I've got to drive back to Boston to go watch more drag shows. So we go into the late game. We're at Petco Park. Beautiful night for ball game last night too, or Wednesday night. This was a fun one. These Peterson games lately between VFW and now NHI just seem to take fucking forever. I think we scored 9 in the first. They went up. They went up and scored 6. It just kind of kept going that way. It was a very good game. Kubiak wouldn't shut up at first, so I had to slippity slap him a little bit. Sorry, Coops. Still love you, but just shut up next time. But it was here we go. We got the book. Yeah, they put up 5 in the bottom of the first. We had put up 6, so it's 6-5 going into the second. We put up 2, so it's 8-5 or plus 3, and then NHI just goes up and puts up in 8 spot. Cool. We turn around the top of the third and we put up 8 spot in the top of the third, and then NHI goes quiet. NHI goes 2 in the fourth. This was good because we were out. Artie's out for this round with a bad back, and Kevin Hill wasn't there because family obligations. So, being down a couple would have been a good game for NHI to kind of jump out. But Peterson, was it just got back from their painting. They had just given a lot of painting classes, and they kept that beautiful, elegant brushstroke going. Austin Dent went to left. Chambers went to third. Chambo. This guy, I was so happy for him. He had a night. Chambo went like 3 for 4, made some fucking plays over 3. His boy Grassini was just picking on him in the outfield. And late in the game, I see Grassini get up and just look right down third base and then pops one up. I looked at Chambers and said he was trying to shove that one down your throat. Grassini did not agree with that. Actually disagreed with that statement, but I think I know. Or at least it makes for better content, and I'm going with that. But Chambers was great. Chambers came up, and he's been working a lot those last month, 6 weeks of the season, taking a lot of BP, taking a lot of ground balls, and got a taste of tournament life and loving it. So, but yeah, it was just kind of a nice back and forth. The thing is after they put up their big inning in the bottom of the second, we came back, had a big answer in the third. Fourth, they scored none. So now they're chasing. In the fourth, we went back up. We put 3 more up. They've only scored 2. I think they're out of home runs at this point. We get to the top of the fifth. We finally put up a goose egg. We put up a goose in the fifth and sixth. NHI could only muster up 3 runs in the bottom of the fifth. Get none in the sixth. And then the seventh. The seventh comes. The seventh comes like a virgin losing his load. Is that a good one or no? Yeah, you should have. It probably wasn't that good. Wow. This was awesome. Bases are loaded. Couple walks, couple hits. Bases are loaded. Where'd it go? Eric Gray, Hoare, me that night. No, it went Gray, Hoare, me. Yeah. So bases are loaded. Grazy's had like 2 hits all playoffs. Everything else has been a walk. I think he's made 1 out. So I'm like, all right, Grazy's gonna walk here. Gonna walk in a run. was making great contact with all, and has been walking too. So I'm like, all right, probably get up with 3 guys on. And Eric Gray had other ideas. Crazy. That guy doesn't hit it past the co-ed line all fucking year. Just drops a 291-foot bomb for a grand salami. Oh, it was unbelievable. The boys went absolutely fucking berserk. I heard it over there. I heard somebody say, Eric Gray, did he? And yes, he did. Also, speaking of chirping, let's get back to this. You gotta fucking try to chirp Chambers about not being able to make a throw across the diamond. I'm gonna make sure he can make that throw. I'm gonna make sure we get you motherfucker out. You don't give you the Akeem Olajuwon. No. And I'll chirp mid throw and say yes he did. But anyway, let's go back to Gracie. That was I don't know. I don't want to say it was like Josh Lee's grand slam against VFW when Johnny was walking the bases was great. But I think we expect Josh to get up and hit a home. He's got a good opportunity to hit those in that situation. Eric fucking Gray, whole different ballgame. You don't expect that from him. You expect a walk. You expect a slap to right, left center, shortstop. You don't expect a big power swing from him. And all of a sudden, the weather gets below 70, the wind gets blowing out, and guess what? Eric Gray is dropping bombs. Love it. And that's it. We put up 9 that inning. Top of the 7th, we put up 9. Let's see. Yeah, we put up 9. I mean, that's just gross. Like, good luck. One of my favorite things that wasn't a home run or game related, when NHI was out of home runs, Andy Lee cut a ball. Holy shit. I don't know how Austin Denton stopped it and left, but he cut a ball that never got above chin level. Thing just went. And I actually thought Austin was going to miss it because it skipped probably 3-4 feet in front of him. It finally hit the ground. And I thought it was just going to shoot underneath under his glove and turn into a double or triple. Holy shit. It only ended up being a single, but God, that was such a great swing, Andy. I mean, your home run for an out in the 7th was a better swing, but that cut was awesome. So we beat them a lot to a little. 29-18 plus 11. Really, the 7th is what opened it up. It was a pretty close game. It was a back and forth game. We were up 4, down 2, but it was a back and forth game until we got to the last couple innings into that 7th when we put up 9 and we pulled away. We were up 2, I think, whatever that math adds. So, all right, so here we go. Yeah, 11. So we were up 2 going into the 7th, and we put up 9. So that's tough. I mean, that's tough to come back from. Also, a team that couldn't score during the regular season, I guess. It's interesting. So you have, we talked about a lot of this during the year. Runs for is a big contributor of what you'd think you'd see in the next rounds. I was always curious about runs allowed. So runs for, you have the number 1 and 4 teams left in the playoffs for runs for, which is A&D was 1, NHI, the Irrigators, were number 4. And then Peterson and Monahan. Monahan looks like 7th, and Peterson was 8th in runs for. So 2 teams that couldn't really score, although Peterson's been putting up, I think, 25 plus runs a game. So, a little different. But then the runs allowed was a big one. I always thought that was a big telling sign. I know Dustin didn't necessarily agree just because there's so many different factors in it, which I don't. I also agree with Dustin on that. But I think you can still tell some things from it. You look at Tomahawk with 500 runs allowed. But you have A&D. You have Monahan as the lowest, number 1 team with runs allowed with 337. A&D is 3rd with 365. Peterson is 4th and NHI is 5th. So maybe runs allowed is a greater indicator, as we have 1-4 in runs for, 1-4, 7-8, I believe, in runs for, but we have 1, 3, 4, and 5 in runs allowed. Maybe that's the bigger indicator of moving on. I don't know. Again, got this great new website. I get to throw stupid analytics at it, or stupid assumptions. I think that's a pretty good one. But it'll be interesting to see what the difference is here. So we are going to be Monday night. We have the Irrigators versus the Painters at 7 o'clock, and then A&D versus Monahan at 8. Both teams, the Irrigators and A&D, are trying to fight off elimination. Yeah, be great. Have a great weekend. If you want to go to a drag show, let me know. Enjoy Sunday, opening day of football. I forgot to put any bets in last night before we left New Hampshire on DraftKings, so probably better. Although I did get my free money with the, Tampa Bay plus 73 or whatever, so I got my free money. But I probably would have taken Tampa. Where were they? I don't know what the spread was. Probably would have taken them at home opening night to cover. So anyway, that's all. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.